Okay, I'm Brian. This is Shawna Truitt. I'm Brian Truitt, Shawna Truitt.
You cut. Need to do that again.
I'm Brian Truitt, and this is Shawna Truitt. We own Patriot Acres Farm Brewery here in Sudlersville, Maryland.
We moved here in 2014. Didn't start the brewery till 2016, 17?
That's when the process
18.
started. We got our licensing in 2017, and then the tap room was finally approved by the county in January of 2018. Well, originally when we moved up here in 2014, we started as an alpaca farm, and you know, just kind of reviewing how everything was going with the alpaca farm. It's like, hey, how can we get more people up here to buy some of our alpaca products? Because we do have socks, hats, gloves, and different other alpaca products that we sell here. So after looking around on the internet and whatnot, we saw that Maryland had a farm brewery license. And I used to be a home brewer way back in the day, and you know, chatted with Shawna about it and said, hey, let's give it a shot. And, you know, we kind of looked at the, you know, we'll throw a shout out to the Brewers Association of Maryland. Actually has a 4-step program on the best way to start up a brewery. So we, you know, reached out to planning and zoning, and it all started from there. Well, when we were first kind of brought into the conversation with the whole event, we definitely wanted to be a part of it, since I guess it's right down the road for one, and it's going to be at the Sudlersville Fire Department, which, you know, we've kind of collaborated with them on numerous things, like the beef and brew. We've done that 2 years in a row, and just like we've kind of mentioned before, we love doing things with other small businesses, local organizations like, you know, Millington Fire Department, Sudlersville Fire Department, the Humane Society, just supporting them, because that's, you know, part of the reason why we did kind of start up, or after we got started up, we're like, where can we take this? And let's use our powers for good and, you know, support other organizations that need a little help and need a little bit of attention. We want those types of businesses and organizations to piggyback off some of the success that we've had here. Well, we definitely want to do something special. You know, from, I guess, what we're thinking is going to happen, it's going to be a big event. You know, a lot of people, a lot of players are doing their part to make this a huge success. Everybody's kind of looking forward to it. So we want to make sure we can really showcase something that we've never done before. So we're not really going to show our hand, but it's going to be something unique, something that we hope people are going to like, and something true to the fashion of beers that we currently do. You know, we don't do anything crazy. We do, you know, somebody complimented us the other day and said we do old world style, you know, beers. And, you know, we'll build off that, you know, the pale ales, the IPAs, the stouts and brown ales, but we'll just turn it up a notch or two and just make it, you know, even more unique, specific to this event, just to make it even more special.
What are we doing?
I don't know. It's our home. I mean, we're a couple, maybe 3 or 4 generations of our family have been here, and we've kind of opened our doors up by the way of having a small farm brewery here to have people come and see what it's really like to grow up out in a rural area. You know, we have chickens that roam around, sheep, goats. We have alpacas, and this is our day-to-day life. It's not, you know, a weekend road trip. This is what we do every day. And, you know, one of the things that kind of summed up everything we do here and our lifestyle is once we moved up to this farm, and we understood, you know, it's a lot of work. It's not quite 24/7, but it's pretty close. And I said, we might not be able to go on vacations anymore. And Shawna says, I don't need to go on vacations anymore. I'm living on the farm now. I think once you come over here, just things slow down. You know, me being in the military and living away from here, probably for almost 14 years, and then coming home, I had to slow down. You know, I lived in, you know, some major metropolitan areas, and then coming home is just like, okay, take a deep breath, slow your roll, everything's not an emergency, figure out what your priority is, focus on that, and just keep in mind that everybody else around here is kind of doing the same thing. You're dealing with, you know, not too much of an alternate universe over here, but people are doing things a little bit slower because they can. You know, nothing is a rush around here. You know, go and have a conversation with somebody, you know, talk with some older people that have grew up here. You know, many generations of their families have grown up here, and they like the way, they like the lifestyle, and, you know, they kind of think, you know, not too kindly of the hustle and bustle of, you know, some of the visitors that do come over here, and wish they would, you know, say, hey, take a walk in my shoes and figure out why we do talk a little bit slower and we walk a little bit slower, and enjoy it. Because once you realize, you know, the high and how we do things over here, I think they'd appreciate it a little bit more.
I bet you know who it is. Do you know?
Yeah, I know.
Freddie Mercury.
What kind of beer?
Definitely an IPA. I'm an IPA girl.
What do you think Freddie would drink?
Huh. I don't know. Probably a sour. I think he'd be into the sours.
That's a good call. I like that.
Probably anything in IPA. I like Mugatu's Mosaic. I'm going to stick with the IPAs because I'm the IPA person. But definitely an IPA.
What about Brian?
He's going to say Stormy Stout.
Stormy Stout, just because it was the very first beer we brewed up here, and it just has a close spot in my heart.
Man, that's going to be tough, because two come to mind. So, a shout out to our friends over at Eastern Shore Brewing. I love Situation Critical. That goes back to my IPAs. But strangely enough, Blue Earl makes a stout or a porter. It's I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. That's stellar. I like that one a lot. They're my two favorites outside of here.
Same thing. I like the I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, and, you know, again, Eastern Shore Brewing has a coffee porter that I could drink all day. And, you know, we have drank a lot of beers just to see what we like and what we don't like.
We're not alcoholics, we just drink a lot of beer.
You know, whether it's local or...
It's research.
It depends on the season. I mean, summertime, I like something not so heavy. During the winter, I love the darks, porter stouts, and you know, I enjoy my lawnmower beer too when it's 100 degrees out. So, you know, just depends on the weather.
Wheat. I'm not a fan of wheat beer at all.
I'm not a big sour fan.
They're growing on them though.
No, they're not.
We do what people ask us to do. I mean, we've got people that come in and say, hey, can you brew such and such? Of course, as long as it's not something that's too difficult for us in our small operation. And it might be on the board in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So we kind of go with what the customers ask for. I don't know. I mean, I follow a lot of the beer brewing boards and pay attention to what people are saying. I think IPAs are kind of going to take a back seat for a while. But as far as what's coming, I don't know.
You know, just to caveat off what she said, we kind of do whatever we want. I mean, we always have. And, you know, if somebody says, oh, you know, this is big out west, well, if we like it, we'll do it. If not, you know, we'll just keep doing our thing. And we have a pretty good, I guess, repertoire of beers we've done since we opened. You know, being small batch, we've done a lot of different recipes that we haven't even went back to a second time or third time, that people always, hey, where's this, when are you gonna bring this back? And you know, we do like to change things up every once in a while, but we're pretty good at spotting trends, and I don't think we're super trendy. We just can't be super trendy. Just because people come here because we're not super trendy. And
the Eastern Shore really isn't known for being super trendy.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to be, you know, stable. You know, people come here because we aren't doing anything crazy. We're not trying to keep up with, you know, the other places out there. We have a pretty strong foundation or base of, you know, beers that we've come up with that people are happy with. And, you know, it's, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And, you know, a lot of people would argue if we did say, oh yeah, we're gonna do this or we're gonna do that. They were like, don't. You know, just keep doing what you're doing, because I like you just the way you are. And that means more to us than trying to show off our talents, coming up with the craziest, you know, concoctions of beers and whatnot out there just to prove how good of a brewer we are. It's not that kind of thing here.
We've just met some really awesome people. Between customers, suppliers, our extended family has grown tremendously. We've just met the most amazing people we wouldn't have met not having done this. I think about, you know, like what my circle of friends would look like if we hadn't opened, and it's much smaller, a lot less rewarding. We've really just met some amazing people that have been so generous and have just enriched our lives that I can't put into words. I mean, they've just been awesome people. I don't know, what do you think?
You know, it's all about the people. If, you know, I hate to say it, but we almost brew just so people come up here and hang out with us. And, you know, I can sit out there on a Sunday afternoon and, you know, welcome people coming in for their first time, or, you know, saying goodbye to people leaving that have been here every weekend almost since we opened up. And it's a good feeling to know these people by first name, or, you know, oh yeah, hey, how you doing? You know, thanks for coming out. I saw you here on Friday. Thanks for coming out on Sunday. And just chit-chatting with them about, you know, kids, family, this, that, or the other. And we've had a lot of really good people gravitate towards us. And, you know, I think, you know, just seeing that, it makes us feel like we're doing something right. And that's very rewarding. We would love to have, you know, as many people as possible come out to the event coming up. It's, you know, you'll get to see small town life in Sudlersville, Maryland. Going to have a lot of really good breweries that are, you know, going to be putting their best foot forward. Evidently, we're going to have a lot of collaborations coming up with people all across the U.S. and, you know, possibly across the pond. And it should be a good time. You know, people are putting a lot of effort into it, and we still are probably a good 6 months out. So I think things are going to work out good, and hopefully, you know, it'll be an event that we don't have to pull our hair out and, you know, worry about, because so much planning has went into it. It's going to be a pretty easy affair for everybody to kind of just show up and have a good time. Bring your friends, bring your kids. Going to be good food, good beer, and, you know, good time.